Welcome to Sense of Style. I'm Stuart. Top 10 fragrances for fall. It is here. In a week, it is going to be September. Most places in the world, the weather is going to start to get cooler really soon. And for collectors, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. If you are a collector, you spend a lot of money on fragrances, you care about getting the most out of your fragrances, the fall is the best time. It's the best time. All of those dark, spicy, oudi, tobacco, sweet fragrances you've just been holding back from wearing. I mean, you might wear them occasionally, but you're not going to wear them a whole lot because they don't smell as good. They don't feel as good when you wear them in the summer. Now they're all fair game. Your collection has just expanded massively. My collection has just expanded massively. I have so many more options the cooler the weather gets. Fall, if you're a collector, if you're really into fragrances, fall is the best time. And the top 10 for fall is important. There are some classics on here. It's an extremely tough list to make. Let's get to it. Fragrance number 1, Club de Nuit Precieux from Armaf. This is a fragrance that when it first came out, I was just like, I just didn't care. Absolu Aventus as a clone combined with Precieux from Parfums de Marly. That was the word on the street. That's what everyone thought it was going to be. It isn't. It turns out that this is a pretty serviceable clone with crazy good performance of Absolu Aventus. This is an extrait de parfum. And boy, have they really upped their game. This Precieux line is going to be, I suspect, a much more high quality line from Armaf. This one, in terms of performance, you're going to get about 10 to 12 hours at least. So what is it exactly? To me, it is Aventus with a little bit of sweetness and muskiness. I'm not sure it's entirely an Absolu Aventus clone. Absolu Aventus has a warm, spicy accord, and you keep hearing about Absolu Aventus as being a spicier version of Aventus. I'm not sure this has a lot of spiciness. There's supposed to be pink pepper and black pepper. I don't get a lot of either. What I do get, though, is the sweetness. You definitely get the ambroxan and the pineapple combo. It's really, really nice, but you get a sweetness. There's amber, there's vanilla, and then there's caramel. And the sweetness, to me, it's the caramel you pick up. So it's definitely a little sweeter. It's perfect for fall. It is a little bit more versatile because it has some sweetness. This is different. Fragrance number 2, this is Purehavan by Thierry Mugler. This is the perfect fall fragrance. And if you're upset because you're sitting there thinking, well, it's been discontinued for a while and now it costs a crazy amount, don't fret. Things are changing big time in the fragrance industry. We are seeing houses that really didn't put anything out. Mugler, for one. No fragrances for men in the last 6 years, and now they got Phantasm. Why? Because gourmands are in. And this is a gourmand house. This is their number 1 fragrance for men. And we have seen a lot of houses where there's money to be made, they bring stuff back. YSL did it with La Nuit de l'Homme. They brought back Blue Electrique, and then Paco Rabanne did it with Invictus Aqua 2016. They brought a 2024 version. I would not be surprised, not at all, if they brought this one back. And why wouldn't they? It is a perfect gourmand. Amber, vanilla, and honey, so a ton of sweetness. And then you have a cacao note. You can pick up facets of chocolate. And then you've got tobacco. When the fall hits, this one is great. Fragrance number 3, this is Herod by Parfums de Marly. And if you wanted to know why this one is so popular, why it's considered to be such a rich fragrance with all that vanilla and tobacco. Look at the juice. I mean, that looks like fire. You know, they're not messing around, but my God, this is like the smoothest sweet tobacco I've ever tried. When it comes to sweet tobacco, it's either this or Naxos by Xerjoff, and both of them are considered to be the ultimate classics. This is probably, it's either this or Leighton, #1 fragrance for Parfum de Marly, which is like one of the top niche houses in the world at the moment in terms of popularity. You know, it is tobacco, it is vanilla, it is a little bit of incense and a lot of cinnamon, and it's beast mode. It's strong, it's smooth, it's high quality. It's perfect for fall. Fragrance number 4, this is M7 Oud Absolu from YSL. And this is a dark and very, very rich oud fragrance. If you've tried oud, and you can smell that it's exotic, but you don't understand why you don't get richness from it, like a real depth from it, you've got to go to this. For the richness, you know, something like Versace Oud Noir or even Oud Wood by Tom Ford, it's not going to cut it. Yeah, it's a lot of dark notes. You're going to get oud, you're going to get patchouli, you're going to get myrrh. All of those are dark, and a little bit of orange to sort of lighten everything up and contrast it. The performance in terms of projection is incredible. It's weird though. In terms of longevity, it's about 6 hours, and it's not quite as powerful as the original M7, but it is more wearable and more accessible, I think, to the average person. Some of these other ones maybe I could get away with in warmer weather. This one you can't. You can't. This one is, I'm really looking forward to wearing this a ton. Fragrance number 5, this is Paris Corners Rific Hat. I got it, you know, late spring, early summer. I love it, but I ain't going to be wearing this one in warm weather. This is super sweet and super leathery. It is a clone of Babycat, which I think Babycat has a prominent fresh spicy accord that's right up there. I really don't get a lot of fresh spiciness in this. Babycat is supposed to have a lot of black pepper, saffron, and some other really fresh notes. I think olibanum is there as well. I get maybe a hint of that with this. I feel like that fresh spicy accord has just gone away. Rific Hat is just like the hardcore leather, the hardcore vanilla, very rich, very sweet, very prominent, crazy good performance. You may be able to wear Babycat, you know, in warmer weather, but this one, no. This one I will be wearing a ton of in the winter. It's absolutely phenomenal. Fragrance number 6 is John Varvatos Vintage. And this is the kind of fragrance that makes John Varvatos, possibly in terms of creativity, the most underrated house that there is. For me, anyway. I have 4 of their fragrances. All of them, every last one of them, do their own thing. They're not going to smell like anything else on the market. They do have issues with performance, but in terms of the scent, it's fantastic. And this one is no exception. This is a tobacco fragrance that is completely outside the norm. So yes, you've got tobacco to start. Then you've got a suede note, so some leather. So now we're starting pretty dark. But then there's a fruity accord. And the fruitiness comes from quince and rhubarb, which has a fruity feel. So you're getting a fruit element to this as well. And then you get some tonka. So you're adding a little bit of sweetness. And then the 5th element is fir resin, which is very noticeable, which is like a sort of a thin, very, very fresh note that runs through the whole thing. So you're getting tobacco, leather, fruit, tonka, and fir resin, all in a $40, $45 fragrance. Very complex, very nice, and yeah. Next up, we have Burberry London, and this one is considered to be one of Burberry's 2 classic fragrances for men. It's thought of as being a great Christmas fragrance. It smells like, spicy, like Christmas Day kind of thing, but you'd be crazy to keep it just for Christmas. It's even got, it's even got a little bit of a sweater on here. And yeah, it's meant for cooler weather. It really is not something you want to wear in summer. Very, very nice use of a sweetness here. They use a Popinax. Instead of like, the other sweetness, a Popinax is a very sweet resin. Instead of like throwing vanilla at it, it's more of a milder sweetness. And you've got some cinnamon in this as well. So tobacco, cinnamon, a Popinax, and it has cardamom as well. So you definitely get the nice mix of the sweet spiciness without being overwhelmed by the sweetness. And the performance is not bad. You're going to get a 4-hour for an eau de toilette, which is fine, and about half an hour of solid projection. It doesn't turn into a skin scent right away. People will notice it. This will get you compliments. Next up, we have Prada Lum Intense. And my God, is this a popular fragrance in the community? I get a ton of comments about this one because people really like it. It's actually I find it quite different from Prada Lum, which is very more fresh iris. This one is a lot of sweetness and leather and iris. Yeah, so it's really, really sweet. It is more powerful, definitely. It really is an intense version of Prada Lum. But the sweetness here is super strong, and so is the leather. So this is a definite fragrance where, yeah, you're not going to want to wear it, in any kind of warm weather. The neat thing about it, though, is it's not just sweet and leathery. You've got that beautiful iris note, that powdery iris that gives it an air of sophistication. Mine is Club de Nuit Intense Woman. This one is one of my favorite fragrances to wear at the moment. I take any opportunity to wear it. It has improved more than any other fragrance in my collection in terms of maceration, in terms of maturation. It is absolutely a phenomenal fragrance. If you like oud and you don't have this, it's about $35, $40. You need to get it. Ignore the woman part. All that really means is this is a dark oud fragrance that has oud, rose, and saffron. It's just the rose part is bumped up a bit. So you're going to get a little bit more rose. It's not particularly feminine. It's a clone of Noir de Noir by Tom Ford, which is unisex. I totally think if you're an oud guy, yeah, just buy it and maybe leave it, spray it a bit, leave it for 6 months, and then you can thank me later because, yeah, I'll take any excuse to wear this one. Finally, we have the 5th sweet tobacco fragrance on the list. This is CK1 Shock. And in terms of pure scent, just the scent, if you ignore the synthetic nature of this fragrance, and even though the performance is not bad, some of the other ones have better performance. If you ignore all that, this might be the best pure scent of all the sweet tobaccos out there, at least for me, because it doesn't use vanilla, it uses amber. So you're not going to get bombarded with sweetness, and you're still going to be able to pick up some spiciness. So you're going to get cardamom, you're going to get that spicy tobacco, and you're going to get amber. Performance actually is quite good, like 6 hours, some projection. Because of the price, though, it is more synthetic. It is a little plasticky. But my God, for the money, I mean, if you just said to me, you can have, one fragrance for the rest of your life, and this was it, I'd be fine with that. I don't know what to wear in the summer, but this smells really good. Anyway, yeah, fall's here, thank God. At least as far as fragrance go. I love the summer, but yeah, I want to wear some of these. Thanks for watching.